Hello student, I'm going to explain to you this problem of the payoff between two players A and player B. So now here there is some confusion in the notes that I have given to you. So you please go through this explanation. Now here it's given that A1, A2, A3 are the pure strategies of the players A. That means player A has three strategies to apply. That is strategies A1, A2, A3. Similarly, player B has three strategies B1, B2, B3. Now payments are made according to the following table. The table is given here according with the strategies chosen. That means according with which strategies player A apply and which strategy player B apply. Then according to that one only, the payoff was given. The payoff was made in between the two players. So what strategies the player should choose to get the maximum benefit? Now there will be a maximum benefit here, means that it should be a maximum gain to one player and a minimum loss to the other player. So the table is given as below. Strategy selected. That means if player A and player B selected these strategies A1, B1. That means player A select strategy A1 and similarly player B select strategy B1. Then in this case the payoff was between the two players was in this way. A pays rupees 3 to B. That means player A have to pay rupees 3 to B. If if player A applied strategy A1 and B applied strategy B2, then in this case again A will have to pay rupees 2 to B. Now in the third one, if player A applies strategy A1 and B applies strategy B3, then in this case B will have to pay to A rupees 4. In that notes it's given to be 2, but in the payoff matrix it's written 4. It should be 4. Please correct that one. Now A2, B1, that means if player A applied a strategy A2 and player B applied a strategy B1, then in that case A again have to pay rupees 1 to B. Now A2, B2 means player A choose a strategy A2 and player B choose a strategy B2. Then in this case B will have to pay to player A rupees 4 again. Now if player A choose this player strategy A2 and B choose a strategy B3, then in this case B will have to pay rupees 2 to player A. A3, B1 means that player A choose the strategy A3 and player B choose a strategy B1. Then in this case again B will have to pay to A rupees 2. Now next A3, B2. A3, B2 means player A applies strategy A3 and player B applies strategy B2. Then in this case again B will have to pay rupees 2 to A. And lastly, the last one is this one. If both apply the third strategies, that is A also apply the third strategy and B also apply the third strategy, then in this case B will have to pay rupees 6 to A. So using this given payoff between the two players, we can construct this one payoff matrix between the players. So you can write this one. The payoff matrix is given by the column. Player B will be along the column matrix and player A will be the row player. So now here there are three strategies available to player B, B1, B2, B3. Similarly for player A, there are three strategies available, A1, A2, A3. Now we have to fill up this matrix here according to the payoff given here. Please correct also that one. In that notes that I have given you, it's given that A pays rupees 3 to B. I have written here plus 3, but it should be minus because we consider this one we consider the payoff to be in terms of this row player. So that means if A has to pay rupees 3 to B, then it should be minus. So this will be minus 3. That means if A1, B1, then it will be this one. A have to pay rupees 3 to B. So it will be minus 3. Now, if it is A1, B2, first row, second column. So that in this case, A again have to pay rupees 2 to B. So it will be minus 2. Now, the third one is A1, B3. Now, in this case, if player A applies strategy A1 and B applies strategy B3, then in this case, B now will have to pay rupees 4 to B. So, if B have to, this one, it should be A. Rupees 4 to A. So, in this case, the entry here will be plus 4 since B has to pay to A. Now next, A2B1. A2B1, in this case, A has to pay rupees 1 to B. So if player A applied this strategy A2 and B applied this strategy B1, then the entry here will be, since A have to pay rupees 1 to B, so it will be -1. Then next, it will be A2B2. A2B2, that means if player A applied the strategy A2 and B also applied strategy B2, so the entry will be here only. So in this case, B have to pay rupees 4 to A. So that means it will be plus since B have to pay to A. Now A2B3. If player A applied strategy A2 and player B applied strategy B3, then in this case, B have to pay rupees 2 to A. Since B have to pay to A, so it will be plus 2. Now A3B1. A3B1 means that B has to pay rupees 2 to A. So A3B1 means that it will be this third strategy for A3 and first strategy for player B. So it will be this one. B have to pay rupees 2 to A. So it will be plus 2. Now A3B2. Player A applied strategy A3 and player B applied strategy B2. Then in this case again, B have to pay rupees 2 to A. So it will, since B have to pay to A, so it will be plus 2. And lastly, A3B3. A3B3, in this case, the third strategy for player A and the third strategy for player B. So here B have to pay rupees 6 to A. Since B have to pay to A, so it will be plus 6. So this is the payoff of the above given, the payoff matrix of the given game played between players A and player B. So now here let us find out what is the row minima. Using the maximum minimum principle, row minima, and here it will be the column maxima. Now let us find out from this first row what is the minimum entry. The minimum entry in this case is given to be this one. So this is the minimum, the row minima. So it will be -3. You write it here. And from the second row, which is the minimum entry, it is -1. So you write this one -1 here. And from the third row, you can, sorry, here I should have make a star mark here for the for the row minima. It should be this one. Let me just write. So -3, this -1. And in this case, there are two entries here of this third strategy where both are equal and these two are the minimum. So you can put a star mark on both. So 2 star, 2 star. So the minimum entry will be 2 here. Now the column maxima will be what? What will be the column, the maximum entry of this one? It will be this. So you put it 2 here. Now from the second column, you see which one is the maximum entry? It is 4. So you write 4 here. And from this one, which one is the maximum entry? It is 6. You write 6 here. So after finding the row minima and the column maxima, we know that V lower bar is equal to the row maxima that means the maximum of the row minima. Maximum of which entry here? -3. The row minima is this one, -3, -1, 2. And V upper bar is equal to the column maxima. And this is equal to, sorry, the minimum of the column maxima. So minimum of this one, 2, 4, 6. So again minimum is 2. So you see that in this case V lower bar is equal to V upper bar is equal to V lower bar is equal to 2. And this is the saddle point. Why this one is a saddle point? Because it is a position of the payoff where the maximum, the column maxima and the row minima coincide. But now here for what, according to the question, what strategies the players should choose to get the maximum benefit. So what should be the strategies played by these two players A and B in order that it will be a maximum gain for the one player and minimum loss to the other player. Since it is, we consider this one in terms of row player, so that means the gain will be for player A and the loss will be for player B, since the value of this one is positive. Had this one is negative, that in that case it will be a gain to player B and a loss to player A. But since the value of the game here is equal to 2, which is a positive number, so the gain to player A will have a maximum gain, and player B will, in this case, will try to play a strategy, will try to apply the strategy to minimize the loss. So now you can see from here, since it occurred in this position, so now here the optimum strategies for player A will be this one, A3. It will be A3. So the best strategy for player A to be played by player A, to be applied by player A, is A3. But for player B, you see that since these two occurred in the first column, the second column, so for player B, it will be the best strategy for player A, for player B to apply now is this one. It can be the B1 or B2 in order to minimize their loss. So therefore the optimum strategy you can write here, optimum strategies will be, it can be A3 with B1 or A3 with B2. So this will be the optimum strategies that will be played by these two players in order to get a maximum benefit or maximum profit. So I hope it is clear now, and you please go through again the notes. If you find any difficulty, you please let me know.